Calling to order the Municipality of Monroeville Citizens Night for January 2nd, 2024. It is approximately 7:40 p.m. So we just had our reorganization meeting, which happens every 2 years. So now we're going right into our Citizens Night and agenda setting meeting, which always falls on the first Tuesday of the month. So we have already sworn people in and did a roll call. And I'm going to open the floor for citizens' comments or remarks on any municipal item. Hearing none, we're going to close that comment.
Hold up.
Sir,
Well, I want to come about
if
this.
you just state your name for the record, please, and if
My
you,
name is Mark Swargel. I live on,
you're a Monroeville resident.
Stroshine. I live on Stroshine.
Welcome.
I just wanted to say that I don't see how you're going to want to approve 432 units, okay? In going down past Target, okay? Plus the thing is that it's going to like put a lot of tax burden on the school district, okay? And I just don't think it's something. It's a little overboard. I mean, the number of people, it could be close to 1,000 people going to be, students. And I just think it's not something that should be considered. I mean, I consider like condominiums or something like that. But it just seems a little overboard that you would put 432 families in a small area that, takes fire, police, busing. Last year, you just changed the school district. Okay, number of schools, from one, you took down two and you built one school and you raised the taxes on that and.
We didn't do that.
We didn't do that.
Well, I know you didn't do that.
Well,
Whoever
I guess
approved
you
it,
said.
that's fine. I mean, I'm not saying that you're responsible for it, but I'm just saying that's the facts of what happened. So, I mean, it ended up raising the taxes. There's a lot of people that don't have a lot of money, on like me, somebody that's like on a limited income, Social Security, and that's it. So I just don't see how, I mean, we need like potentially like 1,000 people. And then the other thing is, they're talking about tearing down the trees in my backyard, which I had nothing but woods, okay? And I don't get sun from I get my sun from the south. It's right there where they're gonna put probably a high rise. I don't know how tall it's going to be, like 6 stories. Right in my backyard, right? 60 people staring at me. It's unbelievable. And on top of that, it's like it'll block off all my sun in the wintertime. I mean, so I don't even know what they're planning to do, but I see the survey stakes out there. So I'm guessing that they're going, that this is the area where they want to talk about, cut and plant is right in my backyard, and it's pretty close to me.
Now, sir, just so your comments are being well accepted, and we understand that, but just to be clear, that item you're talking about is not going to be in front of us this month. We're not going to be voting on it, certainly not tonight, and it actually won't be on the agenda for next Tuesday either. There was a delay, and it was tabled at the Planning Commission level. So it's going to be back at the Planning Commission. Certainly your comments here, you're telling us how you feel about the project, but just so you know, we're not voting on it this month.
Well, I got the letter, so I'm just.
Well, that was the problem. The letters went out before the Planning Commission tabled it, and part of that was due to the holidays, getting the mail out. So the next Planning Commission meeting is
January 17th, 7 o'clock.
January 17th. It's January 17th at 7:30.
7:30, I'm sorry.
So that'll be back in front of the Planning Commission. They'll discuss this project, and if everyone for the listening audience, this is the potential project that's going on adjacent to Giant Eagle and Target in the 50, 60 acres that are beyond Giant Eagle, on the pharmacy side of Giant Eagle. That's the development this gentleman's talking about. So the Planning Commission will be talking about this at their January 17th meeting.
Okay.
If they may table it again, they may vote for it or again, but after that point, once it goes through Planning Commission, then it'll come in front of council. So at the earliest, it'll be back in front of council will be in February. So at the first Tuesday in February would be our agenda-setting meeting, and then the second Tuesday of February is when our regular council meeting would be, when we would vote on
Okay.
such items.
Yeah, okay, I just wanted to conclude, I think they should put something smaller in if they're gonna do anything. I mean, like condominiums, whatever. I mean, something that's less invasive.
Understood. But certainly, I would encourage you to come to the Planning Commission meeting.
I certainly will.
And then also the next time when it is in front of us.
Thank you for listening to me and considering what I'm saying.
Thank you for your input.
All right.
I'll leave the floor open for anyone from the audience who would like to address council on any municipal item. So we're going to close the comment period. Council, we're moving over to the minutes that we will consider for next Tuesday. Citizens Night of November 9th, 2023, the council agenda-setting meeting of November 9th, 2023, the regular council meeting of November 14th, 2023, and the Citizens Night meeting of December 5th, 2023. Council, any questions, comments, corrections of those minutes? Hearing none. The reports of the tax collections to be considered next Tuesday. Council, any questions or comments?
No questions.
Hearing none. Moving over to our list of bills and budget transfers. Any questions or comments, council?
No.
Hearing none. And the payroll report, questions or comments?
No.
Hearing none. Very good. All these items, this is not a voting meeting this evening, but we will consider these items for next Tuesday, January 9th at 7 p.m. Moving over to our consent agenda, new business of 23-8-C Verizon Wireless. Mr. Graziani, please.
The applicant is requesting a conditional use approval pursuant to Section 504N, Commercial Communication Tower of the Monroeville zoning ordinance number 2779, to permit construction of a 250-foot tall communication tower. The property is located at 2465 Johnson Road, identified as tax parcel 641G53 in the S Conservancy zoning district. The zoning hearing board granted a 50-foot height variance for the height of the tower to exceed the maximum permissible height of 200 feet. Case number 23-30-A.
And this is a public hearing item, and also that the Planning Commission did recommend approval of this application. So is there anyone to speak about this item? Council, could I have a motion to open this public hearing?
I make a motion, Mayor.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The public hearing is open. Gentlemen, as you sign in there, once you do, if you could just state your name for the record and identify yourselves, please. And in a moment, I'll be swearing you both in, and also I'll be swearing in anybody from the audience that may want to add testimony. If after listening to the presentation, if you change your mind, that's no problem. You can still speak if you're if you're a taxpayer and a resident, and you can be sworn in at that time.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My name is Joe Cortez. I'm here on behalf of Verizon Wireless.
Welcome.
Timothy Stark, on behalf of Verizon Wireless as well.
Thank you. If you could please both raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
I do.
Thank you. So if you want to just go on with your presentation.
Certainly. What I'd first like to do and incorporate the project narrative that we had prepared for the conditional use application. The municipality has an extensive ordinance as it relates to communication towers. And as you noted, Mr. Mayor, We previously obtained a variance for the height from the zoning hearing board and also obtained the planning commission recommendation for approval. But included in the conditional use application are a number of exhibits and documents that support the fact that we do comply with the municipality's ordinance. Tonight, we're here, kind of a dual application, in fact, not only for Verizon Wireless to fill a significant gap in their coverage, but also to afford the municipality with space on that facility to account for their equipment so that we can improve public emergency services and their communications as well. So we do have a lease agreement with the municipality for the property located on Johnston Road. Tim can answer any technical questions you may have with respect to the site plan and the location and the height and some of the design functions associated with that. But I wanted to just give you a little bit of brief background as it relates to why we're here tonight. Verizon typically, as most companies do in the wireless industry, they first try to co-locate their equipment onto existing structures. Unfortunately, given this location on Johnston Road, there aren't any suitable structures in that area. So what we have to do is find a suitable piece of land that complies with your ordinance. And as I indicated, there are quite a few requirements in here, including setbacks, height, FAA, FCC requirements. And we would just submit that those criteria are satisfied in what we supplied. It's almost 100 pages to the municipality. The wireless industry is changing. It's changing rapidly in the last 5 to 7 years. When sites were first developed, they were developed for voice purposes. Now, those of us in this room that use this device don't use it for voice. We use it for various aspects of our life. People are working from home now, so they need to access the network. So Verizon's about improving the network, not only today, but planning for the future. This facility is designed for this particular site, but also for future development in the area. When sites were first built back in the late 80s and early 90s, they were built in locations adjacent to the highway. For example, the large facility we have in Monroeville is located right on the turnpike, adjacent to the turnpike and the parkway. Similarly, if you're on 279 or on 79, those structures were built to 450, 500 feet because they were used for voice purposes. Today, people don't just use their phones for voice. We use them to cut the cord. Almost 70% of United States households today are wireless owners. They project that to be 80 to 85% in approximately 5 more years. So from a planning perspective, these sites are necessary today, but they're also going to be, in the future, important to fill those gaps in coverage. Without further ado, I would turn it over to Tim to just describe generally, if you could, the physical location, access, and if you just describe the general characteristics of
Yes, as the manager mentioned, a 250-foot self-supporting tower, meaning there's no guide wires. There's a 75-foot by 75-foot fenced area at the base that's locked at all times. 3 strands of barbed wire at the top to prohibit any climbers going over. The Verizon antennas will go to 240 feet, so just below the top of the tower. The Municipality of Monroeville will have reserved space on the tower for 4 locations. We work with Chief Cole extensively and their outside engineer to design the tower for 4 spots for Monroeville to put antennas as they wish. So the tower is designed for the Monroeville antennas, and the space is allocated on the tower for up to 4 spots on the tower for Monroeville. The tower will hold future co-locations if another carrier wanted to go on, which would eliminate the need of building a second tower nearby. Let's say another carrier wanted to go on the tower, it will be structurally sound enough to do that for multiple carriers in the future. Access is from Johnston Road, as was mentioned. The facility itself is very secure, being the training center. Gated access, very secure, plus our fenced area is locked at all times. So very, very secure property in general. Setbacks are in our world, enormous, 600, 500, 900, 600, 1,000, 600 in all directions. So we're really good on the setbacks in all directions. We meet the ordinance in that. We do have Verizon has their FAA approval in hand. And other than that, any questions, we're here to
Do you have an extra site plan to include there that we can then, if you put it over that X,
Yes.
we can put in there?
Yes,
I'm assuming
yes,
we do
we
this,
do.
so folks to do that. And again, maybe emphasize the fact that You mentioned it actually briefly, but I think it's quite significant. It's located on our public safety training site, property, to
Yes.
do that. So that's something that's not even anywhere near anybody's neighborhood.
Yes, it was a nice location, given it's not around residences, and the setbacks are enormous in our world.
See if Jared can get that one too. Zoom it, just leave it right there. He can zoom in on it, I hope. There we go. And if you could highlight Johnson Road.
Yes, sir. Johnston Road, running this way, and I believe it's a dead end down here. I've made the U-turn a couple times. Thank you.
Yep.
And you'd come down Johnston Road, make a left into the secure facility that's gated, locked with intercom at the gate there. And Verizon has a 20-foot non-inclusive access easement that goes back to the tower, which is paved. You could drive very, very nice here. And then the new 75-foot by 75-foot fenced area will be right here, with the tower in the middle, again, with no guide wires, and fenced and locked at all times.
Mike, doesn't that help you a little bit more in your ward?
Oh, yeah. Well, my question is, how fast could it get up? I have no services.
This is Verizon's top site in the whole region. They rank all their sites from a need perspective. This is their #1 ranked site, so it's on their board to build ASAP. Yes, sir.
Are you going to have a separate access to the training center
No.
area?
We leased.
Put that back up
Yes, sir.
on here.
Jared?
Okay.
That's the same access that they're now?
Johnston Road is a public road, named
Yes.
road. Verizon has leased a 20-foot non-inclusive easement, just so we're not landlocked, meaning anyone can use that road, especially Monroeville. But yeah, we do have an easement in place.
Is it the same access that's there now?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And with the code, they're going to have to give you the code to the training center. How many people's going to have that code? Other municipal people?
On average, the Verizon technician is usually local, and they access it about 6 times per year. And we will iron that out with Chief Cole on access,
Yeah.
whatever you guys deem fit.
Will they contact Chief Cole before day before or whatever?
However you guys spell it out is how we will do it.
Chief, you okay with that?
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Any other questions, council? Any concerns from a staff perspective? Mr. Hughes?
No, it was approved by the planning commission. My wife's digging a foundation as we speak.
So you're looking forward to it as well?
I think
Oh,
everyone on Lower
absolutely.
Monroeville Road.
Over on Lower Monroe Road and, yeah.
Joe, Tim, anything else you want to add for this evening?
Where's the next closest tower to bounce off of?
There's towers in all directions. They're a good bit away. When we were on site with the engineers, the radio frequency engineers, we visually inspected the existing towers north, south, east, and west. None of them were to the liking, or Verizon was already on those towers in some instances. So they have tower sites in all directions, north, south, east, and west. I can show you this map if need be.
And maybe while you're doing that, maybe the chief can come up and discuss how it's also benefiting some of our increased coverage across the Monroeville system.
Yes.
There you go. Gotta put 'em- You thought you were gonna get off easy at the beginning of the year.
Okay, let's hear from the chief.
Thanks, Joe.
Jumped them under the bus, didn't you?
If you show up, we're going to make you work, chief. You saw what we did with the rabbi, so.
I should have stayed out in the lobby.
I would have still called you.
That's exactly.
Can you keep him to 5 minutes? That's the question.
I mean, that's a nice picture of what it's going to probably look like. I got
Jared,
it
get
right
the camera
place.
up.
There we go.
Yeah, got it already. Yeah, certainly any of these towers, besides the rental fees that we're going to get for it's positive for the training center, for the municipality, and certainly the coverage is just where it's at. We have the capability of, as he said, 4 sites, not just antenna sites, they could be microwave sites, they could be sites that could be used for video systems that we were in the future, tying things together on a network throughout the municipality. It's just a good step in the right direction. I don't need to tell you technology. I left the 2 phones. I know how to use them, but everybody's got phones now and the smartphones and things that's happening with that. Our law enforcement people all have issued smartphones, so every officer has access. We use it all the time to transmit photos of crime scenes, JNet photos, which are driver's license, PennDOT photos, wanted person photos, those type of things. All need towers, you need sites, and this is perfect for us.
Great. Thank you, chief.
Thanks, Doug.
I kept that pretty quiet.
Okay, my only other question is, that tower's 250 feet high,
Yes, sir.
and if it would blow over to the west, would it hit our building? Up
Should
from-
not. I don't believe so, sir. No, sir.
The only building would have a shot to even try to hit would be the garage building, and I don't think it's gonna make it. My view, if it goes any other way except toward the garage building, that'd be the only building, and I still think that's more than 250 feet, Paul. What do you think?
It will not hit it.
Tim,
Okay,
It
thank
would
you.
be- Yeah, it's over here.
I have a question for Tim, just to get into the record.
Yes, sir.
Isn't it also true that with self-supporting towers, the weak spot's about two-thirds of the way up the tower? They don't typically, the bases of those things are very, very strong. They have deep foundations, and so if they're going to be weak and they're going to break or bend, let's say in a big wind,
Maybe halfway up.
they're going to kind of come in on themselves as opposed to just plopping over. Isn't that true?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir,
Okay.
Mr. Ratcher. They're
Thank you.
designed to implode on themselves in the highly unlikely event, about a third the way down, so about a third fall zone radius. I was actually living in Florida, the Panhandle, when Hurricane Katrina hit, and we were there for emergency response for a different carrier at the time. And surprisingly, the newer towers held very strong through Hurricane Katrina. We were all baffled, but the engineers stood by their work. Some of the older towers built in the 80s didn't do so well with the guide wires, but the newer self-support towers 20 years ago, even Hurricane Katrina did very well. This one is even designed to newer codes would fare even better.
Very good.
That's all galvanized metal.
Yes, steel, yes, sir.
Council, any other comments? So is there a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion to close.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The public hearing is closed. We will consider this at next Tuesday's meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Joe, do we already have your narrative there?
I can provide it to the court report if you'd like.
Please, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Council, moving through the agenda, we have to our motions. We have two motions to consider for next Tuesday. Mr. Graziani, please.
The first motion is a motion to place a full-page advertisement in the amount of $100 in the program for the Gateway High School Musical Chicago Teen Edition.
So moved.
We're not going to vote tonight, but any questions or comments, Council? Hearing none, next motion, please.
The second motion would be to approve the property acquisition for the Tricog Land Bank, for the property located at 255 Rosecrest Drive, lot and block number 640-H-316.
Questions or comments, Council? Hearing none, moving over to our resolutions. We have one resolution this evening. Mr. Graziani, please.
The resolution would be for authorizing the proper officials to enter into a revised agreement by and between the Municipality of Monroeville Tax Office and Wilkins Township Commissioners to provide for the collection of the township's mercantile tax, business privilege tax, and local service tax.
And
Very good. Yeah, Mr. Ratcher, if you can make comment on this.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, Tim, I just wanted to confirm, I believe that Wilkins has gone in another direction here and does not intend to enter into an agreement.
Yeah, that's correct, yeah.
So this, my advice would be that this be taken off the agenda, because it's a moot point now.
Okay. So everybody, so Council, are you okay, is everyone okay with just removing this and it will not be on the agenda for next Tuesday?
Yes. Yes.
Very good. So we'll strike that and we'll update the agenda for Tuesday. Moving to our ordinances, we have three ordinances this evening. Mr. Ratcher, please.
An ordinance of the Municipality of Monroeville, Allegheny County, Pennsylvania, amending ordinance 2630, the benefits of Monroeville exempt and non-exempt employees, whereby long-term disability claims shall be paid at 60%, and retirement health savings accounts are increased to $1,200 per year.
Council, any questions?
Great.
Next item.
An ordinance of the Municipality of Monroeville, Allegheny County, Pennsylvania, authorizing the proper officials of Monroeville to enter into a collective bargaining agreement for the years 2024 through 2027 with PSSU Local 668 SEIU, representing the municipal clerical workers and emergency telecommunications officers. And Mr. Sedlak has informed me that due to some scheduling issues related to illnesses and the holidays, this is not ready to be acted upon, so recommend that council table it at the regular.
Next Tuesday, okay.
Yeah.
Very good. And our last ordinance.
An ordinance of the Municipality of Monroeville, Allegheny County, Pennsylvania, authorizing the proper officials of Monroeville to enter into a collective bargaining agreement with the Public Works Bargaining Unit beginning for 1 year, beginning on January 1, 2024 to December 31, 2024.
Questions or comments, council? Hearing none. Moving on, thank you very much. Mr. Ratcher, the floor is still yours if you have a report for this evening.
I just want to welcome Mr. Graziani and welcome back the re-elected council members and Mr. Krutt. Look forward to sitting next to you here, and that's it.
Very good. Mr. Graziani,
Nothing to report this evening, sir.
thank you. Mr. Hugus,
No, sir.
Ms. Rock,
Nothing.
thank you. Moving over to reports of our council members. Mr. Hizzy.
Welcome, Alex, all the city councilmen. I just had one thing, Mr. Post brought up, I didn't get my email yet. Look at Friday, February 9th, COG's gonna have a dinner up at the Edgewood Country Club at 5:30. All members are invited. Please RSVP. I sit on the board as treasurer now, so please, like to see everybody there. Happy New Year's, that's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Poach.
Just again, welcome, Bob. We're back at it again, back once more into the breach. Bill, thank you. You hope, right? Good luck to you. And Alex, obviously, thank you so much for joining the team. Looking forward to it. And so, thank you, sir.
Mr. Stevenson.
Reiterate welcoming Alex. I concur with what you said earlier, that we have a very good staff. We really do. Our department heads are super. And with that said, let's give it hell in 24, huh?
Very good, Mr. Stevenson. Thank you. Mr. Krutt.
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. Adams.
Yeah, a question. I wasn't here last month for the voting meeting over the billboard on 22. There was a comment made by one of the residents that the municipality does not make any money on this billboard. Is that correct?
No, that's not correct. Now, they'll pay taxes on the billboard, but those taxes might be considered somewhat minimal, but it is a structure, it does have value, it is affixed to a piece of land, so it will be assessed, and there will be taxes paid based on what the value is determined to be. It's an electronic billboard, so.
But no mercantile or business?
They, under our new, we passed new regulations last year, and under those regulations, we are able to tax them for the revenue they earn in Monroeville. It's called having an economic nexus here. Used to be that unless you were actually situated here with your corporate operation, you could not be taxed. That's not the case anymore. If you earn monies inside the municipality of Monroeville, the tax office can assess taxes
that's
for
good.
business privilege.
Good, thanks for
Yeah.
answering that question. And one other thing, Merry Christmas to all the Orthodox Christians out there for Christmas on January 7th. That's it.
Thanks, Mike. Mr. Williams.
Yeah, I have a couple things, and this will take effect for next Tuesday. The one, as I read over the agenda on the computer, Tom Gerber is not living in Monroeville. Section 1802, qualification of members and terms of restrictions according to our home rule charter states, all persons appointed to any board, commission, or authority shall be residents of the municipality and remain so during their term of office. So that'll make a difference maybe next Tuesday. Okay, something to consider.
Well, just so you know, the Convention Visitors Bureau is set up a little differently in the bylaws. So there are sections in it that afford members of the business community, of hotels. There's a list of qualifications. So it is a little different than what is read in the Home Rule Charter. Mr. Ratcher, if you could clean up what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, what happened is the Conventioners and Visitors Bureau was established to collect and administer the part of the hotel tax that the municipality gets. And so council, looking at that, long after the Home Rule Charter was originally adopted, council looked at that, and they wanted to set up a board that was representative of the people who were stakeholders. And for instance, it says in there that some of the four members to be chosen from major hotel and motel facilities in Monroeville, one to be from a current sport or athletic attraction or endeavor, one member to be a current restaurateur or manager of a restaurant. And the idea is to get those stakeholders some representation. So that provision of the Home Rule Charter really does not apply to this, and council by ordinance adopted those rules. And obviously, if we tried to find people from the municipality for all those things, we probably couldn't do it.
Okay.
So that is an exception to the other boards and commissions where you do have to be a resident of the municipality.
Okay, thanks for your clarification. I think that's important for the public to know that. The other thing is, as we go into the new year, and section 1804 vacancies, it says nominations shall be made at council business meeting. At the time of the nomination, each nominating official shall publicly present to council a resume and nominee's qualifications. And you know, this is our Monroeville Bible, and I think we need to adhere to this best we can. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Williams. Mr. Biondo?
Yeah, just Happy New Year to everybody. Merry Christmas to all the Orthodox. Mike, Merry Christmas. Again, welcome Bill, welcome Alex. I'm looking forward to working with both of you guys. That's all I have.
Mr. Mayor, one more thing.
Go ahead.
We got a packet here, and there's no need, as I stated before, and really, I'm not a tree hugger, but that's an awful waste of resources, and I think it should be a standing order not to reprint this, maybe only the cover page if there's a change. And I think it should just be a standing order that we don't keep printing these packets.
That's a good idea. Thank you, Mr. Williams. Anything else? It's your night. You got sworn in, so you can keep going.
That's it, I tried to leave, but you caught me.
I know. Very good. Well, hey, welcome, congratulations once again to our re-elected officials. Mr. Crut, welcome. Great job this evening. You didn't say anything stupid. Welcome. Welcome to you as well. And please, with that, I'll seek a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? This meeting is adjourned.
Keep it.
So no.